Welcome to Asset Television News. I am Eugenia Solomon. First, the headlines. You are insensitive to plight of Nigerians. NLC to Power Minister. INEC calls for cancellation of off-season election. Shaky ceasefire in Gaza as killing continues. And now the news in detail. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has declared that the 8 billion naira proposal by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, to sensitize Nigerians who are already struggling with exorbitant electricity tariffs reeks sense of arrogance, corruption, and insensitivity, especially with millions grappling with poverty and runaway inflation. The organized labor stressed that the 8 billion naira allocation has fueled suspicion of corruption and financial recklessness, and therefore urged the National Assembly to reject the proposal and hold power sector managers accountable. The NLC, in a statement by its president Joe Jairo, also said the development is a slap in the face of hard-working citizens, stressing that it is a glaring contradiction to allocate public funds to educate Nigerians on paying bills to private electricity companies while grid failures persist and service delivery worsens. The NLC president said that instead of ensuring steady electricity, the Minister of Power prefers to teach Nigerians how to pay for darkness, saying that governance should be about reducing hardship and not compounding it. Ajaro specifically said that the proposed allocation of 8 billion naira for electricity bills sensitization was unnecessary and insensitive expenditure. In another development, the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC has urged Nigerians to prepare for a nationwide boycott of telecommunication services in protest against the federal government's recent approval of a 50% increase in telecom tariffs. In a statement by its president Joe Jairo, the NLC condemned the tariff hike, describing it as an unjust burden on citizens already grappling with economic challenges. The labor union expressed concern over the timing of the hike, saying it coincides with rising inflation and declining purchasing power. The NLC president criticized the government for fast-tracking the tariff approval within a month and taking nearly a year to implement the recently revised minimum wage. The NLC president, however, urged Nigerians to reject the tariff hike and prepare for collective action, including the possibility of a mass boycott of telecommunication services to compel the reversal of the increase. While the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed February 21st, 2026 for the conduct of the Federal Capital Territory FCT Area Council's election. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this during the Commission's first consultative meeting with leaders of political parties in Abuja. Yakubu, who recalled that the last FCT Area Council election was held on February 12, 2022, said by the extension of time, the tenure of the current chairman and councillors ends 2026. He said that voting would take place in all the designated polling units, PUs, across the 68 constituencies to elect the 6 area council chairmen and 62 councillors. The major political parties in the country insisted that the Independent National Electoral Commission must continue to conduct by-elections to fill legislative seats that become vacant on account of resignation or deaths. In spite of INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's lamentation that by-elections drain INEC resources, the Labour Party and the New Nigerian People's Party maintained that INEC remained best suited to conduct by-elections. The LP and the NNPP rejected the position by popular senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, that INEC should stop conducting by-elections and allow parties to internally decide who replaces an elected officer who resigns or dies in office. While the All Progressives Congress called for wider consultations, the People's Democratic Party agreed with Falana. Falana had argued that since the votes scored during elections belong to political parties, the replacement of elected candidates as a result of death or resignation should not call for a by-election. Speaking during a consultative meeting with political parties leaders in Abuja, Yakubu expressed concerns over the financial and logistical burden posed by the increasing number of by-elections in the country. He called for legislative reforms to adopt more cost-effective methods of filling vacancies in the national and state assemblies. Some journalists were attacked at Edo Governorship Election Petition Tribunal as DSS police display alleged partisanship. The journalists who on legitimate assignment found themselves being molested by party thugs who seemed to have overpowered the security agencies.
You want to come for what's the problem? Are you mad? If I know this way, they're my bro. They are very stupid people. Carry this come up. What's the problem? Let's see you. I'm even the record you. Record this car. I go fear. I go fear now. I go fear you. Wait. I go dismiss you. I go dismiss you. Come back up. How much you talk later? If you don't dismiss you, I don't be bossy. As you go school, I say I go school.
Police had before the day assured that they will cordon off the venue against those that have no business in tribunal seating, but however felt overwhelmed by political thugs. The Defense Headquarters has expressed its determination to strengthen its partnership with the Nigeria Union of Journalists FCT Council as part of efforts in tackling terrorism and banditry in the country. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General E.S. Buba, called for the collaboration during a courtesy visit by the NUJ FCT executive led by Grace Ike at his office in Abuja. Buba highlighted that strategic partnership with the media would support the military's efforts in combating terrorism and banditry, stressing the crucial role public support plays in military operations. Meanwhile, Ike, the chairman of the NUJ FCT Council, earlier emphasized the importance of a more proactive relationship between the military and the media to ensure accurate reporting on security issues. Ike, who was accompanied by Vice Chairman Yahaya Ndambabo, Secretary Jide Oyekunle, and Treasurer Sandra Udeke, also highlighted the key role the media plays in supporting the military, especially in counter-insurgency operations and promoting responsible journalism. She stressed the need for training of journalists to avoid the spread of sensationalism, fake news, and misinformation. Asset Television News will return after the break. Many thanks for being there. If you are just joining us, you are watching the news on Assets Television. Now, Beatrice Ekweremadu, wife of a former Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, has been released from the United Kingdom's prison. A source who craved anonymity said Beatrice, who was sentenced to 5 years in UK prison, returned to the country on Tuesday. It was, however, gathered that there was jubilation in her family house in the Mpu community of Aninri local government area of Enugu State. Beatrice, her husband, and one Obinna Obeta were jailed for organ trafficking plot with different jail terms in 2023 by the United Kingdom Court. Senator representing Southern Borno Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Alin Dume, has confirmed that the majority of the 40 farmers that were killed in the recent attack in Dumba area of Kukawa, in Kukawa local government area of the state, are from Goza local government area. The senator who represents Goza said 5 of the farmers from Goza who survived the attack revealed the situation to him when they visited his house after the attack on brief. Senator representing Southern Borno Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Ali Ndume, has confirmed that the majority of the 40 farmers that were killed in the recent attack in Dumba area of Kukawa, in Kukawa local government area of the state, are from Goza local government area. The senator who represents Goza said 5 of the farmers from Goza who survived the attack revealed the situation to him when they visited his house after the attack to brief him on the incident. He commended the Nigerian army and urged them to embed cyber wizards in their operations. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has called for his case to be transferred to the southeast if no judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja is willing to preside over it apart from Justice Binta Nyako. Kanu's request was conveyed in a statement by his lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako, following a routine meeting with his legal team at the Department of State Services facility in Abuja. This development comes after Justice Nyako on September 24, 2024, rescued herself from handling Kanu's case, citing the IPOB leader's lack of confidence in her handling of the trial. The case was subsequently referred to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soho, who later returned to Justice Nyako for continuation. The 5th edition of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum LCBGF will be held from January 29th to 31st, 2025 at the Ndimi International Conference Center in Maiduguri, Nigeria. The forum is organized by Lake Chad Basin Commission, LCBC, in collaboration with the African Union Commission, AUC, and the United Nations Development Programs, UNDP. The event will be held under the theme Rebuilding the Lake Chad Basin, Consolidating Gains, Commitment to Peace, Cross-Border Cooperation, Security and Sustainable Development for a Resilient Community. Hosted by the Yobe State Government, the forum will serve as a vital platform for dialogue, coordination, and cross-border cooperation among the 8 territories of the Lake Chad Basin affected by the Boko Haram crisis. Away from the national scene, an Israeli military spokesman said several violent encounters have occurred involving armed or masked Palestinians in spite of the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. In one such encounter, a man was killed with the military identifying him as a fighter for the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. In other cases, soldiers fired warning shots to keep masked suspects at a distance. The army said it is determined to adhere to the ceasefire agreements while taking all necessary measures to protect its soldiers from potential threats. In the world of sports, Borussia Dortmund have fired head coach Nuri Sahin in the wake of Tuesday's 2-1 Champions League loss to Bologna, saying they had lost faith in him. Dortmund was beaten in the competition last season, but the loss on Tuesday was the club's 4th successive defeat in all competitions. In the Bundesliga, Dortmund sits 10th position with 20 points behind leaders Bayern Munich. German media reported potential successors included former Manchester United boss Erik ten Hag, who has been seen attending Dortmund games recently, or one-time Benfica and Bayer Leverkusen handler Roger Schmidt. And with that sports story, we wrap up the news. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Eugenia Solomon. Thank you for watching.